Hey everyone, my name is Nick, your friendly neighborhood review guy, welcoming you back to Nickelodeon and to yet another episode of the Flash Forward, where we review three movies.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah, like that. The three movies that we are going to talk about today are Infinite, Minamata, and The Tomorrow War.
You are an infinite.
So, Infinite is the latest movie from Mark Wahlberg. I like Mark Wahlberg. It's always kind of a hit and miss situation with Mark Wahlberg because sometimes he will give you great movies like The Fighter or The Departed, and right after that, he's gonna do movies like Ted or Daddy's Home or shit like that. He's like the consistent guy who gives you okay movies, but sometimes he surprises you with really good movies. Basically, the story of Infinite is about reincarnation. So, right from the beginning, this movie has a lot of action. There is a lot of things going on, like car chases, actions. These actions, they are even done well sometimes, but for some reason they don't have any weight to them. Like, you don't really care about any of the characters in the movie other than Mark Wahlberg, and that even fades away. I'll talk about that later. But since this starts with some different people in the beginning, some known faces, people you may have seen in other movies, and yeah, they have a few action scenes. Everything about this movie is stupid. I'll tell you why. That is because the writing of this movie is epically bad. I was taking this movie very, very seriously for the first 30 minutes. And then someone in the movie comes in with a truck and rams through an entire police station. From that moment, I was like, okay, oh, this is not like a serious movie. They don't want us to take this as a serious movie. This is more like a Fast and Furious movie. They want us to like turn off our brain and just have fun with it. So from that point, I turned off my brain and I thought like, okay, I'm gonna have some fun now because this is gonna be ridiculous. Every action in this movie, they're going to be ridiculous, and they were. But none of the action was fun. I don't know why. There was a lot of CGI, there was a lot of destruction, there was a lot of explosion, there was a lot of action, but none of them had any weight because the characters didn't have any weight, not even Mark Wahlberg. Everyone just talks in exposition, like every conversation is just how Mark Wahlberg is supposed to do this because he did that in his previous life, how everything was set up, what the bad guys are looking for, what the good guys are looking for. It's just exposition, exposition, and exposition. And you get tired with it. And by the time the action comes, it doesn't really have any weight. And the reason or the motivation of the villain, I don't get it. So, like, without spoiling, the villain just doesn't want to reincarnate anymore. So he wants to destroy the whole fucking world just for him. And I don't get why other people would follow him for that reason, because he basically has an empire and an army. I just don't understand why people would follow him for such a selfish reason, because he is only doing it for himself. And there are people who know that, but they're still following him, which doesn't make any sense. And on the other side, the good guys, Mark Wahlberg is clearly the guy who was always the leader. Like in every past life, he was the main guy, and he's not yet getting there on this life. Uh, they will let you know why. Like I said, this movie is full of exposition, so they will let you know why. When I say the dialogues are like really, really bad, I'm gonna give you an example. Check this out.
These were all you, aren't they?
They're people I once was. All of them.
Yeah, so that's why I said the dialogues are trash. The story is trash. The action is disposable, but you may have some fun with it. Like I said, if you turn off your brain and you just like, okay, I'm just gonna have some fun. You might have some fun with the action, but I don't think you will. I didn't understand anything about this movie. I mean, like, I understood what they were trying to say, but this movie just has like a lot of plot holes. I actually slept twice watching this movie. The first time I was watching this movie, I fell asleep. I was like, oh shit, that is a bad sign. But I had to make a review, so I went back again and started watching it again. And seriously, I slept again, twice, in like with one movie. I'm keeping this movie because sometimes I can't sleep. So whenever I can't sleep, I think I'm just gonna turn on this movie and it will really help me to sleep. So yeah, Infinite overall was a really bad movie, a bad experience for me. So I'm probably gonna give this a 3 out of 10. Minamata is the latest film from Johnny Depp after probably a long time. And it's a place in Japan where a chemical factory is disposing all of their poisonous chemicals into the water. The water being contaminated like that, people are getting sick, and it's not just like any sick, like not fever kind of sick. People are dying, and they have been for years in a horrible way. Like they're severely disfigured. Some people are born like that, and they have been for years. But this company never ever took responsibility for that, and they refused to do so. So basically, Johnny Depp is a photographer from Life magazine, and he has to go back to Japan and document these things and shed some light on it because nobody else is doing it. I am so glad to see Johnny Depp bringing back the Johnny Deppness in the movie. He's in this movie with a completely new makeup. He looks old, he looks great, and he looks perfect for the role. And this is probably one of the best acting of Johnny Depp I have seen in a while. I mean, he's always great, but this was crazy good. I loved him every single minute, and every single frame of this movie was beautiful. I mean, if you go to Japan and just start the camera, there is nothing much you have to do. The cinematography is already great, but the cinematography of this movie was really great. I mean, everything looked beautiful and devastating at the same time. I think that is what Andrew Levitas, the director, wanted to do. They wanted to show you the beauty and the devastation of this poisoning. So the color is kind of like that. It's not like very, very vibrant. The places are naturally beautiful, but it has a darkness to them. I really liked it. And the acting, like I said, Johnny Depp was amazing. There's Hiroyuki Sanada in this movie as well, who is always fucking awesome. Everyone did a real good job. I actually really love this movie because of the darkness that it had. This was a very serious movie, and this is, I think, a very important movie as well. It teaches you a lot of stuff about being responsible, and it's emotional at times. The fact that it's based on a true story probably makes it a bit more emotional. There are some very dangerous imagery in this movie. There are the sick people, they're hard to look at, and they showed it. They showed it just how it is to be in a place and seeing this kind of disease just spread around, people being afraid of other people, people being afraid to touch people, like much like how we are nowadays. But in a way, this how we are is much better than how they were. The background score of this movie was also great. I have been waiting for Johnny Depp to make a comeback with a great film, and I think he did. I think he did really good on this one, and it's already very highly rated everywhere. And I don't really have anything much to say, but I would just highly recommend you to watch this if you are a Johnny Depp fan. Even if you're not, this is a really, really great film. Everyone was really great in it. The story, like I said, is important, and it's a beautiful movie. It's beautiful in every way. So yeah, I'm gonna give this movie 8.5 because it was fucking amazing, fucking beautiful. The Tomorrow War from Amazon. There was no buzz about this movie. I just saw like one trailer, and I kind of thought, like, I set my mind that this movie is going to be bullshit. Usually that happens because of marketing. Like when the studio does not believe in a movie that it's gonna do really, really good, they don't really care much about the marketing of that movie. And I don't think Amazon cared much about this movie at all because they didn't do anything for this movie. It just came out. Just like they just dropped and hoped for the best. And yeah, so naturally I thought it was going to be a disaster like Infinite, but I'm glad to say it's not. I mean, it's not that bad as bad some people are making it out to be. It's not a perfect movie, but it's actually a fun one. This movie has Chris Pratt in it and J.K. Simmons. I love J.K. Simmons. I love Chris Pratt. They were both great in it. So, first of all, the acting of this movie is strong because of the cast, obviously. But the story, though, that's feels like a rip-off, a bad rip-off of Edge of Tomorrow, the Tom Cruise movie, which is amazing. Then again, this movie does have some good things. Like this movie's action is actually good sometimes, and this movie obviously had a big budget. The explosion and the CGI looked fairly well. Obviously, this is an alien invasion movie, so you don't really open your brain or nitpick a lot in this type of movies. And unsurprisingly, there is quite a bit of humor in this movie, but mostly, though, it comes from Sam Richardson. He was funny in this movie. Most of his comedic lines, they work.
You just look around like that.
How are you so calm?
Long story.
Yeah, ex-military?
Yeah. Kind of a short story, I guess.
If you're gonna watch this movie for a Shakespearean story, you're probably gonna be very, very disappointed because this movie seriously doesn't do great with its story. It kind of relies on the action. They did do a lot of explosion and a lot of action sequences in this movie. Some of them were good, and if you're just looking for a Sunday movie that you're just gonna sit down and enjoy with some popcorn, this is probably gonna be a good enough movie for you. And it's nowhere near as bad as some people are making it out to be. It's fairly enjoyable, but I don't know if I'm gonna watch it twice. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this movie a 6 because it was just okay. Hey, thank you everyone so much for watching. If you like the video, you know what to do. Just hit the like and subscribe and share with your friends if you want to. And I will see you on the next video.